Good. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. I'm joined by my co-host, my brother from another mother. Blood couldn't make us any closer. One of the best photographers in the world, my brother Santana. Say something to the people.
What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all could have been anywhere else, but y'all here with us tonight. And for that, we thank you. And we also got a jam-packed show for you, so we're going to get right into it. You heard?
Man, we want to thank y'all as always. The show is a presenting sponsor of Button Snaps. Make sure you go to Button Snaps, button-snaps.com, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentary, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. We on the road to 20,000 subscribers for this channel. So again, y'all continue to like, subscribe, and share. Over 350 rewatches of this podcast on this channel. So make sure y'all tap in and continue to share a friend with another friend. We also got membership portions in the pages as well. Different access for different memberships. So make sure y'all tap in. Shout out to some of our day ones that's already in the building. Speaking of badges, we got badge holders already in the building. Shout out to Winter. Shout out to Culture. Shout out to Treatment Alliance. Shout out to King Prince. We appreciate y'all support as always, and it helps with the growth of the show. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. With no further ado, we're gonna get right on into it. First segment of the night is popular opinions, y'all. And remember, these are the word questions. These are not our questions, so stick to the answers in the questions. But this segment is brought to you by OUV Records. The label model is create, document, and inspire. So make sure you go to Instagram right now at OUV Records and stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. Y'all see it here. Y'all see it, in the background and everything. So make sure y'all tap in. All right, y'all. First, popular opinion questions of the night. And again, y'all, I must stress, these are not our questions. These are the world questions. So stick to the answers in the questions, y'all. All right. Which music catalog would you rather own? Which music catalog would you rather own? Well, it shouldn't be catalog. So it's all right. So you owning the catalog of the. Okay, I see what they say. All right. So which music catalog would you rather own? Number one, Little Kim, Crush on You. Number two, Adina Howard, Freak. Number three, Chris Brown, Party. Number four, Little Dirk's, Petty 2. So again, y'all, which music catalog would you rather own? Number one, Little Kim, Crush on You. Number two, Adina Howard, Freak. Number three, Chris Brown, Party. Number four, Little Dirk, Petty 2. Let me know what y'all think in the chat.
Catalog to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that one specific song, not the
Yeah.
whole artist's catalog, right?
Yeah. See that, and that's what threw me off when they say catalog. But again, most people don't realize catalog is a song, and especially when the song is big. So, pause.
I'll probably go with I'm gonna go with Lil Kim's Crush on You because it's still you can still use that as a form of marketability to gain traction for some type of product, and using that song can now gain more interest on that product and then the song itself. So I feel it's still a win-win. So Crush on You can use it for so many different ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It can be used for so many different commercials, whatever. So I think I'll go with Crush on You.
Okay. This one is actually kind of tough in my opinion. I'm gonna go with Adina Howard, man. I'm gonna go with Freak. Freak in the morning to the freak in the evening. I mean, when that song came out, we was little kids, and that song was kind of risque, but it was just like you kind of, you had to sneak to hear a song like that. And it's still in 2025, we live in this stripper horror culture where that song is ringing bells. They didn't try to remake the song. It don't hit the same, obviously, but that song is like the gift to keep on giving, especially in horror and stripper culture. So I'm gonna have to go with a Dina Howard Freak for this one. So my bro, he went with Little Kim Crushing You, fire song. I went with Freak. In the chat, they went with Little Kim as well, and they went Chris Brown Party. The rest of the world at 38%, y'all, at 38% went with Chris Brown Party. What do you think about that?
Nah, I could understand that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Party could go well with any kind of party. You know what I'm saying? Everybody loves a party, so you always go to a party. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Well, the difference between
So
going to the party and a party party. You know what I'm
until the VDC will call you and tell you to stop partying. You know what I'm saying?
saying? What BD said? If I put puppies in the oven, do that make them biscuits? Stop the damn party. You know what I'm saying? Stop the damn party. You know. So, great choice, y'all. Great choice, man. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next popular opinion question. And again, y'all, these are not our questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions, y'all. All right. A movie we need. Oh, sorry, Spike Lee edition. A movie we need more. A movie we need more. Spike Lee edition. Number one, Girl Six Part Two. Number two, Do the Right Thing Part Two. Number three, School Days Part Two. Number four, He Got Game Part Two. Again, y'all, let us know what y'all think in the chat.
I'd definitely go with School Days Part Two. Being that it was about like the whole Greek fraternity and sorority image and culture. I think revamping and coming back to that in this new age now and shedding more new light on it. I think that would be something interesting because there was a case that happened recently about somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So based on that, so I feel doing the School Days Part Two on that premise of like the Greek culture, which is weird to me, but okay. Um, but yeah, I think School Days. I would want to see a School Days too.
Hmm. And I really like the first one because Spike Lee, as always, puts an interesting spin on everything that he does, and he put an interesting spin on Greek culture and how each looked at each other. You know what I mean? And then at the end of the movie, it was like, yo, regardless of what whatever smart tech you rep, we still all one unit. So wake up. You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy how Spike Lee threw that in there, and even he threw himself in one of the characters as well, where he played one of the characters, and he looked up to Big Brother Almighty, to the highest of regard. You know what I'm saying? Even Big Brother Almighty let him, you know what I'm saying, let him get some buns. You know what I'm saying? And then the way, Big Brother Almighty then flipped it up on him like, yo, on his girl, I should say, like, yo, you supposed to go in a room and act like you wasn't supposed to let him crack. So it was crazy at the end how it all came together, that interesting twist. So that would be dope. Shout out to Patrick in the building, man. Appreciate you tapping in. As always, do the right thing too. I think is needed in these times. I love the answers. So both of y'all went with the chat, and my bro went with School Days Part Two. Me personally, I don't know, maybe because I'm just, a little, you know what I mean? I'm in. I want to see Girl Six Part Two. I ain't gonna hold you. That's just me personally. I just want to see Girl Six Part Two because, mind you, that particular culture in the first movie doesn't even exist no more. Well, at least I don't think so. Well, it does, but it's different, right? So phone sex. People that don't know, phone sex used to be big business back in the 70s, 80s, 90s. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than Nino Brown when it came to phone sex and Girl Six. But it's translated to, I'm guessing, like online sex or thing of that type of culture where you could see and, but the voice used to be everything, and it was kind of funny. I don't know if you are familiar with CB4 with I believe Alan Payne's character was a full sex operator, and
Oh yeah, before he started, before he got on, yeah, they
and,
had that meeting in the office.
and pause to everything I'm about to say, y'all. But he's like his boys roll up on his job, and he like, yeah, he like, yeah, look at your balls, got big balls, pause, right? But he's like, yo, I hate this job. You know what I'm saying? But it's a difference between a man doing that, knowing that he's not on that type of time, and then, a woman that could, fully use her sexuality for heterosexual men. So it was an interesting take. So me personally, I would like to see a girl six because Teresa Randall was so fire in that movie. She looked amazing. The backstory could have used a little bit more work, but I would like to see a part two in that. My bro went with School Days Part Two. The chat went with School Days Part Two. Uh, they went with School Days. They went do the right thing, and they also went with He Got Game Too. So it was like a mixture of two. So the rest of the world at 41%, y'all, 41% went with Do the Right Thing. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I guess because of the climate and the culture, that movie is needed again.
It
So
is.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, it is. It is. Um, yeah, movies like that is always needed, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to see another Crooklyn. Can we get a Crooklyn Part Two where the kids is all grown up and got their own families, had a family reunion back in Brooklyn or something? Like, can we get that right on the brownstone? Like, can we get that, please? So, all right, y'all, that's dope. Yo, anybody ever told you you look like Marcus Houston? Yeah, I've heard it all my life, bro. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit that like, hit that the 100s in the chat, man. Hit that, hit that. Thank you for your support. We appreciate you as always. Shout out to Paul. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Our Hollywood Need to Ask Us. We came up with the segment because Hollywood has been giving us movies we didn't ask for or lacks creativity don't hit the culture the same. Not even interesting. So we got better movie ideas, better show series ideas. So that's what we came up with the segment. You want to start this one off?
Now you could start it off.
All right. So I want to see a Lisa Leslie biopic. For those who don't know, Lisa Leslie was a pro basketball player that came through the ranks like in the 90s. She was on like that USA team with Rebecca Lobo, Don Staley, who's the head coach of South Carolina. Uh, who else? Cheryl Swoops. I mean, that squad was loaded. I probably could name like three other girls: Teresa Edwards. Oh, Holy Boathifield. Like it was a crazy squad at that time. And in the USA team, they was blowing everybody out just like how the men were, but they was like it was crazy. But Lisa Leslie, I want to see her full life, on and off the court, and then on the court. Like in high school, for those who don't know, in high school, she put up 101 points in a high school game. That's not even the kicker. She did this in one half. She did this in 16 minutes. You know how egregious 101 points is in one game, let alone a half?
It's crazy.
That is crazy. For high school don't play the same type of minutes as college and in the league. 16 minutes, just quick work, 101. Coach is like, yo, yeah, nah, you good. 101, bro. That's wild work. So she put up 101 points in the first half, and I mean, just a really great play. And she was the first player that I remember for real, for real. She was very attractive, tall, chocolate sister, the 90s days, you know what I'm saying? But she was like the first basketball player outside of Cheryl Swoops. I've seen Cheryl Swoops and Living Single, but Lisa Leslie was really on her acting bop too. Like she was in Moesha, you know what I'm saying? I used to be a big fan of Moesha. You just seen her just being active in the acting space, and she looked real good doing it too. You know what I'm saying? She didn't come off mannish and manly, 6'5", just all that chocolate. You know what I'm saying? So as a young boy, I was appreciating that, and I would like to see a movie based on her life, on, like I said, on and off the court, her trials and tribulations. You know, just throughout her life. I think it would be a dope watch. So I would love to see that. So that's my keep the lie alive. That is my Hollywood need to ask us for this episode. I agree with the Lisa Leslie, bro. For me, it would be Roberto Clemente biopic. Long overdue. Facts, 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 facts. Yeah, bro, your turn.
So my Hollywood need to ask us. I would love to see a historical period piece about the Opium Wars in the 1840s. So this is during the English expansion and English Empire, and they wanted to expand their sphere of influence. So they took on a seaport in China and decided, you know what, we're gonna take this over. They're gonna take the seaport over and just force opium on all the population. So it got to the point where it got so bad that the Chinese Empire went to war with the English to stop the opium wars. It stopped one time and then they went again and fought them. And it was 2 wars for it. And they lost both wars. And it was not until like the 70s or the 80s when they finally released that seaport. And that seaport is Hong Kong. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they kept that seaport for over a century.
Right.
And before then, they was pumping that seaport with a whole bunch of drugs, filling the community with all these drugs, and getting the money and funding all their expansion elsewhere. So I'd love to see a period piece about how they was financing this whole drug empire right there. And I think it was interesting that they don't never tap into this part. And it just showcases that human nature is always going to be the same, no matter what year it is. No matter if you see a come up, you're going to take it. And I think that's phenomenal. Just showcase that how even the empire is going to deal in drugs.
Mm-hmm.
They need that drug money to do something else. So I think that'd be interesting.
He was born in so much coke that, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't even pay attention that their kid had
He didn't have ADHD. He had ADD. He's just breaking up coke, like, just, you know what I'm saying? Just whatever.
You know what I'm saying? Pop's half a thug, mom was smile. You know what I'm saying?
Sprinkle cane on it. You know what I'm
saying? Wild cocaine. Now that would be dope. That kind of remind me of Double Impact.
That's where
yeah.
Remember, that's when the English was finally giving back Hong Kong to the Chinese.
Right.
Like, we done pimping it off. You could get your, you know what I'm saying? You could get your little port back. You know what I'm saying? We done with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They ain't fight and get it back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's crazy how the Chinese and, you know what I'm saying, want to come down and look at other people, but it's like in your history, y'all niggas got slimed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So don't come at other people any kind of way. In your history, you got slimed twice. I commend y'all for fighting, but you still got slimed. You know what I'm saying? So just be cool. I know history. You know what I'm saying? Don't be acting like y'all above that. Y'all was getting slimed and forced to do the drugs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. And let me not say drugs, narcotics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that sound a whole lot better. You know what I'm saying?
Because back then they was doing it. The smoke dens were like hookah lounges now.
Mm-hmm.
You know how y'all go to a hookah lounge, get you a little mint joint? Yeah, you go to the little smoke dens and the little, you know what I'm saying, little back alley spots and get you right. Mm-hmm. If you watch the movie, remember the movie with when they was talking about the Jack the Ripper with Johnny Depp? Remember his character was addicted to opium.
Sleepy Hollow?
No, not Sleepy Hollow. It was the other one when he was in England and he was the detective chasing down who ended up being the Jack the Ripper serial killer. I just can't remember the movie, but in the movie, he was addicted to opium. And then they showed in the scene in the movie, he's in the opium den and they showed how they used to smoke it back then. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I brought it up.
Okay.
But yeah, it sprinkles in the midst of the ether of moviedom that they didn't showcase this. So now you just need to bring it together. Ridley Scott, you the perfect period piece movie. put this together, showcase how the English was slamming, moving drugs, you know what I'm saying? Back then. They'll still do it now, but back then it was just more visceral.
Yeah.
So I love to see that.
Yeah. That's dope. Like I said, when you said it right away, I immediately thought of Double Impact, where you know what I'm saying, the uncle was like, "Yo, I ain't really your uncle like that. You know, I'm the street uncle. Basically, I love y'all like y'all my kin, and I'm gonna look out for y'all. You know what I'm saying? But y'all got a birthright. Y'all need to go back and get like okay." Like, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta meet up with your brother. I don't got no brother. What you talking about, B? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That brother.
That's when they was giving back the port to the Chinese finally and stuff.
Yeah, that's dope. That would be fire. That would be fire. So, yo, I'm telling y'all, Hollywood, we got them ideas, man. Just straight to the money. You know what I'm saying? So, holla at us. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, our must see segment. Y'all love this segment. Our must see movies, must hear music, must see watch TV show, documentary, or stand up. You want to start this one off?
Yeah, I'll start this one off, chat. Y'all know how I always do. I always got a theme for my movies. I feel as though with these themes, it gives a certain aesthetic and a certain look that I've seen in these movies. So for this one, it's called conspiracy theories, but these conspiracy theories is off my basis of watching these movies. So if you've ever seen these movies and you want to go back and see if my conspiracy theory holds up, let me know in the chat. So the first movie of my conspiracy theory is Matilda. Came out in 1996. Stars, where's my note at? I'm sorry. Matilda stars Danny DeVito, Mara Wilson, Rhea Perlman, Pam Ferns, Beth Davids, Brian Levinson, Jimmy Cars, Karen Davizell, Paul Rubens, Jacqueline Steiger, Sarah Madeline, and Tracy Walter. Loved this movie as a kid, thought it was awesome. Main character of the movie is a child, and she lives with a family that just doesn't love her properly, and she develops a power of moving objects. And my conspiracy theory is I believe that Matilda was a government experiment. You gotta watch the movie to see if my conspiracy holds up tight. You know what I'm saying? So next movie on the list is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the classic one, 1971. You gotta go back to the original joint, right? So it stars Gene Wilder, Peter Ostman, Denise Nickerson, Paris Thiemann, Julia Dawn Cole, Michael Bloller, Jack Albertson, Roy Keener, Leonard Stone, Nora Denny, David Battery, and Diane Saul. About this young kid who lives in somewhat poverty, and at this time is this big chocolate factory that he wins a golden ticket to go to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And you gotta see this movie to see if my theory holds up. And the secret, I feel the secret in the secret ingredient is the children. Because if you see the movie, you'll know why. So you gotta watch the movie. So my last choice on this list, it's classic. I'm pretty sure y'all seen this one, but it's Aladdin. Came out in 1992. Stars Robin Williams, Scott Wagner, Linda Larkin, Gilbert Godfrey, Jonathan Freeman, Frank Wilker, Leah Salmon, Jimmy Cummings, pause, Douglas Seal, Bray Kane, wow, Corey Burton, and Debbie Durberry. Classic Disney film. I thought it was amazing watching it, but I always had an inkling feeling that Aladdin period piece was a post-apocalyptic piece. If you go back and really watch the movie, certain things in there wouldn't make sense for the timeline. So I feel Aladdin takes place in a post-apocalyptic future where all of society is just deserted, destroyed from a post-apocalyptic war, and the remnants of old tech is still around, aka the magic carpet, when they used to have levitation. Call me if I'm wrong. You gotta see the movie, tell me if I'm right or wrong. So my choice of conspiracy theories was Aladdin, post-apocalyptic theory, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The kids are the ingredient. You know what I'm saying? Sprinkle cane on it. And Matilda, she was a government experiment. Tell me I'm wrong in the chat. Y'all gotta watch these movies, see what's up. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Willy Wonka and his chocolate factory, the original. Put the cocaine with the goop scoop chocolate.
Yo, mad mixing of the cane. You know what I'm saying it was so heavy mixing. Bro had the heavy joint. He had to climb up the stairs to get the mix. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, even though, and this is my opinion, even though the '70s version is the better movie.
It was a weird one too. We wasn't supposed to even be watching that joint. Like, come to
Yeah, I
think
mean,
about it, cause it was wild,
yeah,
wacky. It's like, nah, this don't even make no sense. Why bro act like this? You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right. But Johnny Depp in his way about how he moved in the newer version, it felt more like Willy Wonka. I feel like he did a better job acting wise, even though the '70s version is a better movie. How do you feel about that? Just in your opinion, because that's my opinion.
I like the original one because of how they like kind of address the kind of situation I'm
Mm-hmm.
bringing up. But
Mm-hmm.
then in the Johnny Depp one, it was like he went off on a different level of showcasing the Willy Wonka esque
Yeah.
imagery. You know what I'm saying of what
Yeah.
or who Willy Wonka is. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah. I remember they tried to throw Willy Wonka type of style in Spy Kids, and I wasn't jacking it when the dude was turning everything into like he was turning everything into something. I just remember in Spy Kids, the original Spy Kids, he was just turning everybody into like little monsters or something
It
like
was that was another wacky movie. Like
yeah,
it was just real wacky. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. So that was crazy. And the person who came out with their acting name, something Cummins, pause, that you read for, I believe, the last one. I know when they came up with that last name in the crib, they thought they was doing something. Like, yo, instead of going with Sarah Smith, Sarah Cummins. That right there, that's Oscar work right there. That's an Oscar worthy name right there. That's Golden Globe names. You know what I'm saying? And so this is what she probably thought in the crib. Trash. That joint is trash. But good movies. Make sure y'all go tap into my bro movies. Check out them conspiracy theories and let him know if he tripping, in your opinion, or he might be on to something. So tap in. The original Willy Wonka movie was not for kids. That movie preceded a lot of us in that chat, but we love nostalgia. I could watch a movie from the '60s, '70s, and still watch it like I seen it for the first time or whatever. I just thought the original one was a better movie, but Johnny Depp. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way Johnny Depp gets so enthralled in the characters that he just
Mm-hmm.
takes to a whole nother level that you just didn't think it could go. So, you know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy. I ain't trying to throw rocks at the bro. You know what I'm saying? How, in the movie he was making chips, and in his real life, his ex-wife was making chips on his bed. But that's neither here or there. You know what I'm saying? Um, so my must-see movies for this episode, number one, came out in 1993, directed by Yul Ito. This movie stars Madonna, William Dafoe, Julianne Moore, Joe Martania, Annie Archer, Frank Lagala, and Stan Shaw. This movie is called Body of Evidence. Fire movie. That's that early 1990 element, cop, lawyer, sex. You hear Madonna, you know what's going down in the movie at that time. This movie is about a young lady who was with her guy and rocked his world to the point where he died. And the lawyer has to come to the rescue and watch the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all, so make sure y'all tap in to see Body of Evidence. My second must see movie, another old school movie, came out in 1982, directed by Ted Koeth. This movie stars Sylvester Stallone, Richard Carina, Brian Dennehy, the great Brian Dennehy, David Caruso, and Bruce Greenwood. This movie is called First Blood. Fire movie. Fire movie. And this movie all could have been avoided. I ain't gonna ruin it for y'all, but this movie is about a young man looking for one of his bros from the army. Pulls up on the bro crib, and you have to watch the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all, so make sure y'all tap in to see First Blood. It's a classic for a reason, y'all. All right, my third and final must-see movie came out in 1996, directed by Stephen Hopkins. This stars Val Kilmer, Michael Douglas, Tom Wilkinson, John Kanai. And for those who don't know who John Kanai is T'Chaka in Black Panther, and Bernard Hill. This movie is called The Ghost and the Darkness. Fire movie about a young architect building up his family, having to go to a particular part in Africa to build the railroads, and the local community had to watch the rest of the movie, y'all. I won't ruin it for y'all, so make sure y'all tap in to see The Ghost and the Darkness. Fire movie. So make sure y'all see The Ghost in the Darkness, First Blood, and Body of Evidence. Bro, any of these movies stick out to you?
Shout out to RP to Val Kilmer. I'm saying Ghost in the Darkness was fire and top tier Val Kilmer. You know what I'm saying? Like
Top
top
tier.
tier. You know what I'm saying? So it's what love movies. It don't matter who it is. You put that work in, we're gonna shout you out.
Shot you out. Top tier. Put that love in. All right, moving on to our must hear. Shout out to my bro Biggs in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Another badge holder tapping in. Shout out to Stickley in the
Oh,
building.
you know that.
Holder. Thank you for tapping in. As always, hit them likes, hit them likes, hit them likes, hit the 100s, hit the 100s in the chat, y'all. In the chat, man. All right, y'all. Moving on to our must hear, must hear, must hear. Put these three songs on y'all playlist, y'all. I'm gonna give y'all some R&B vibes tonight for y'all first time listeners. R&B vibrations. You got to get Profile on your playlist. Again, the group is called Profile. These are the three songs that you must have. Number one, Addicted. Number two, Changes. Number three, Can We? Again, vocals is crazy, music is fire, quintessential late 90s, early 2000s R&B. Again, the group is called Profile, and must have on your playlist by Profile is number one, Addicted. Number two, Changes. Number three, Can We? So again, put those on your playlist, y'all. All right, moving on to our must-see classic TV show or documentary or stand-up. You want to start this one off?
Now you can start it off.
All right, so my must-see show, y'all. This is a must-see show. Came out in 1995. It was on for about 2 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. This was fire on the low, but this was around the time where the 90s, like, it was fluctuated with shows like this, and so we couldn't appreciate what was going on at the time. All right, fire show, y'all. This show came out in 1995. This stars Daniel Benzel, Michael Hayden, Grace Phillips, Jason Gridlock. This show was called Murder One. Show was fire. This show was about a lawyer representing a rich man who had a whole bunch of means, and the trial in itself took on 2 seasons, y'all. Just a whole lot of work in those 2 seasons, y'all. Great acting, just fire storyline. So make sure y'all tap in to see Murder One, bro. It seemed like I took you back to a place with Murder One. Like
No, I didn't even hear about this one. Like now I'm intrigued. Like Murder 1, 2 seasons for a whole case. Damn.
fire, bro. This was like, cause again, that lady, this is like mid 90s. So we had the beginning of SVU. We had the New York Undercovers. We had NYPD Blue. We had what was the other joint? I forget the name of the other joint that was fire that I mentioned a couple shows ago. But we had all this top tier, top cop, top lawyer type of work, and they was and we can't forget Silk Stockings in that list. Like just a lot of top tier. So make sure y'all tap into Murder One, y'all.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Shout out to all the top cops. You don't got good shows to showcase top tier, top cop work. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the top cops out there. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
My throwback show. This is a throwback for real. If y'all know this show, holla at me. My throwback show is the Hogan Family. Came out in 1986, has 6 seasons. And then also when I was going through the actors, a lot of people passed away in this joint. So Louis Daniel Pounce, R.I.P. Sandy Duncan, Jeremy Litch, R.I.P. Valerie Harper. We had my man Jason Bateman. This is how I remember him in this one. You know what I'm saying? Josh Taylor, Eddie McClung, Steve Whitting, R.I.P. Tom Hodges, John Hillerman, and Josie Bissett. Now, so this was a pre-Family Manners-esque type of show, so it has the same kind of like aesthetic and feel because it was it was like 3 years before the first season of Family Matters actually came out. So this a good family show, like top tier family show. You know what I'm saying? It's the 80s, that good sitcom feeling, and just take you back to a good place and a good time with a whole bunch of nostalgia. So tap into the Hogan Family. I'm pretty sure you could catch it on Tubi because Tubi got everything, and it's definitely on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. That good wholesome family hour.
Yeah, that good come to the table, sit down, we eat, talk about your day. You know what I'm
saying? Shout out to the family. Shout out to the Hogan family. You got cologne for us?
Definitely got cologne for y'all. Y'all look good. Y'all feel good. Y'all smell good. You're gonna do good. This one's for you, bro. Got you Ralph Lauren. Shout out to Ralph Lauren. Get you a Ralph Lauren. The fragrance is called Ralph's Club. You want to be part of the club? Get you a bottle of Ralph Lauren. The fragrance is called Ralph's Club.
Oh, my bro froze up on us. He froze up on us. Can't hear you, bro. He gonna tap. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Okay. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Where I left off as definitely Ralph Lauren. Tap into the fragrance Ralph's Club. One more time, Ralph Lauren fragrance called Ralph's Club.
Make sure y'all tap in. I told you, boys, stay with that Ralphie on. You know what I'm saying? And if it ain't Ralphie, it's definitely OUV in the building. So make sure y'all tap in. And that's a fire cologne right there. You know what I'm saying? Fire cologne. All right, y'all. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to wrap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of classic movies, shows, documentary, original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. That's Button Snaps. Button hyphenated sign snaps.com. Again, button hyphenated sign snaps.com. Make sure you go there and get the good watch on. That's premium watch. You're going to get the finest of qualities of movies. All right, y'all. First hot topic of the night. We mentioned it a little earlier. R.I.P. to Val Kilmer, legendary actor. Some of his biggest movies that he was a part of, and some of the best movies he was a part of. Batman was a big movie. I wasn't crazy about that particular Batman that he was in, but that was a big movie for him. Movies I was actually love Val Kilmer in. Pause. Movies like Heat, Tombstone, Willow. We just mentioned the other movie.
Mad Mardigan. Yo, Willow. Forgot about Mad Mardigan.
Yo, Willow was so pop. Like Willow was it just hit differently when we was young. I'm not even gonna hold you. Me personally, Willow was one of my favorite movies coming up. Like until House Party came along, that's all I wanted to watch was Willow and Labyrinth. I'm not even gonna hold you. Then when House Party came around, I'm watching House Party at 7 years old. You know what I'm saying? Had no business watching House Party. Now that became my favorite movie, along with with Ninja Turtles at the time. So look at that plate, House Party, Ninja Turtles. Like what type of kid was I?
Good 90s nostalgia. Good 90s.
Just crazy. But shout out to Val Kilmer. Rest in peace. did some great work. Like I said, movie Heat. If you haven't seen Heat, Tombstone, Val Kilmer, and Tombstone just bodied it in Willow. We talked about the Ghost in the Darkness just a second ago. Val Kilmer did some amazing work. So again, rest in peace to Val Kilmer. All right, next hot topic. NBA star Anthony Edwards made a historic move by paying $1.8 million in child support all at once, covering 18 years worth of payments. So this comes out to $5K a month, until the child becomes 18. What do you think about that?
So now it's just going to showcase the ball is in the women's court, and they're going to still find something to complain about. You know what I'm saying? It's still going to find something to complain about because you get the whole money up front, which it was about the money. You can't tell me otherwise because it was a strategic move to try to have the baby born in California, knowing you live in Georgia. Your first kids were born in Georgia, but this particular kid, you want to be born in California. Why? Because California has the most highest rates when it comes to child support. So they already seen that coming and they bounced it back to Georgia case. Cool. You couldn't get that aspect. So now bro is like, yo, here's all the money up front. So there should be no reason and no bickering, no argument.
Mm-hmm.
5K a month should be more than enough.
For the next 18 years.
It should be more than enough. But I guarantee you it's not going to be enough. But he paid his paid up, so there should be nothing to come back at all. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to showcase a lot of precedent because of like how child support system is going to be viewed moving forward. Because if you could pay it up front and never have to deal with it again, then there should be no reason for them to come back after the obligation is over, after the 18 years is up. So there should be no coming back for back child support, none. I paid it up front, so it should be quiet after that. But we'll see how, you know what I'm saying, the finessery will try to finesse it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. A shout out to Rowan Jack in the building. Appreciate you as always, one of our badge holders. Rowan Jack always holds it down each and every episode. Thank you for your support. As always, Rowan Jack, man. This whole thing is wild to me, mainly because we've spoken on previous episodes that child support is what is supposed to be an elective thing. It's supposed to be voluntary. It's not supposed to be actually the law. So you would think that a lot of these, high profile people will have access to high profile lawyers that know the ruling of not actually paying voluntary child support when they have the means, when they could just take care of the child on their own instead of having to pay or be relegated to pay child support. So it's funny on that aspect to me alone that there's a website that supposedly breaks everything down where child support is actually like a part of like damn near breaking the law. It's illegal. And that is supposed to be voluntary. So it's like, who are these lawyers or esquires that they're going to that just like letting it rock because they're getting a check? And if this thing is illegal, why haven't they really tapped into it for real? How come you have all these other people online that know about these little loopholes, but y'all don't? All right, so cool. So going back to Anthony Edwards actually paying it up front, very smart. The only other person that I've heard to pay all the child support up front was 50 Cent. Paid all the child support up front. I think his was like 1.2 at the time or 1.3, which for the next 18 years, you're going to live a very nice lifestyle. And then 18 years came and went, they was expecting more.
We already have evidence. That's why it's like, it's just funny. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We already have evidence of this. So it's like, all right. And
Yeah.
you still gonna come back and ask for more after they done got situated for 18 years, 5K a month. You put 2K in bills and you use 3K to invest every month.
Every month. Or better yet, why not just work, take the 5K, save 2K, and invest 3?
Why not work? But no, you don't want to do that. You want to live in a high rise, pay 8K in a month, 8K a month in rent for what? Just to live in a tall. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. But again, it's just dealing with the modern times that we in. It's just we living in bizarre world.
Like I just because that type of math is mathing to me. To me, you're getting 5K a month. You say you could take care of bills on your own, right? Cool. So why not work? Take that 5K. First 6 months, save the first 6 months, and then the next 6 months, invest it. Invest it big. So that way when you hit it big, then you could pocket all your money and just put away, put away, you could make more than what that 5K is. That's just seed money at this point, and you just bank the rest.
But we still gotta also hold the state accountable because we saying like she's actually gonna get the whole 5K a month.
Mm-hmm.
We know the state gonna tap into it, and that's what makes it illegal or makes it almost like extortion.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're telling the whole premise of it is child support, then why does the state need a fee in it?
Mm-hmm.
Why does the state need a part in administering the funds from going from one account to the next account? Why do you need a fee in it if it's going for the child? So that's where I feel as though the loophole lies, where it's a stigma with child support. It doesn't even make any sense when you're paying an extra fee that doesn't even go to the child. Who does it go to? It's called like a service charge or administration fee. They'll come up with all kind of names and titles for it to extort you.
Yeah.
But it's cool when they do it.
Yeah.
But when somebody in the hood does extortion to the city, oh nah, it's a problem.
Right.
But
Right.
y'all extort us every damn day.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as we turn around and extort the city, oh nah, this person is a big time. You know what I'm saying? He a big homie. You gotta get him off the streets. But meanwhile, the whole state doing it. Every state.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's so many ways that she could freak it with the 5K per month just from Anthony Edwards alone. Financially, it's so many ways that she could do it, especially if she decided to work and work even harder than she'd ever have in her life. So that way she could save all that bread for 18 years. Why not? It makes the most sense in the world. Or save this amount, save that amount, save something, because 18 years is 18 years. And after 18 years is up, you want something to show for your children. Not you, your children. But if you want to make it work for you, then save and not splurge. It's not shopping time. Like, so it's just crazy how how most of these situations that you find people still asking and looking for more after the terms is up. So Anthony Edwards, he's only going to make more money, moving forward. That 1.8 mil might be a nuisance to him right now. He's going to be a supermax player. So, and that carries about like 50 something million per year. So he's not going to miss that 1.8 at some point. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. BET announces the return of 106 in Park with Keke Palmer and Kai Cenat as hosts. What do you think about that?
I don't know if the young kids even remember
106 in Park.
106 in Park. It's really like, you know what I'm saying, our generation, really in a couple of years after us.
Mm-hmm.
I get the Kai Cenat and Keke Palmer aspect. I guess you could bring it back in, bring that nostalgia back into a whole new audience because of Kai Cenat, of how he when he streams, he got a whole bunch of people that follow him. So that's a new tap market that probably didn't know about 106 in Park, and kind of bring music videos back again. So I'm with it. So for the young generation to watch videos and get the countdown and get the music popping again and getting to watch music videos again. So I'm for it for the younger generation.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, the last time we've had 106 in Park was probably like 2015 because they had the Bow Wow, they had they had several hosts after a while. It went from AJ and Free to Terrence and Roxy. Then it was like, yo, we just gonna take like 6 of y'all and we're gonna try to work this thing out amongst y'all to keep the energy. And it never was quite the same after that. And then obviously music videos declined because people don't necessarily watch music videos anymore. It's just something that is like a pastime. Like people like to watch old music videos, but new stuff is even clipped up differently now. It's not even a full music video now. Um, so it's going to be interesting how they're going to spend it. So for them to bring back music video style, then it has to be a different type of way they do it because, like I said, most people, because of their attention span, don't really receive music videos with the presentation like how we grew up to. Music videos was a whole presentation. We grew up, us being little kids at the time. I remember Michael Jackson used to release his music videos after the NBA game on a Sunday night prime time. Bulls and Knicks was playing after the game. Michael Jackson debuts, premieres his video. Like, and that type of presentation in the music video, he got Amon in the video. He got Eddie Murphy in the video. He got Magic Johnson in the video. He got Debo in the damn video. All these top tier actors, top tier athletes there for Michael Jackson, for him to spin into some sand, out the joint, you know what I'm saying, busting all the moves. So the presentation of music videos is not the same. Shout out to Busta Rhymes, shout out to Missy Elliott. Those artists used to put a different type of energy into the videos that we don't have. So I mean, be interesting to see. I think they will have to switch it up.
And make artists make better videos again. Get producers to produce better videos. Change the format of how, you know what I'm saying, music. Because I feel like around when it started to decline, we was getting a whole bunch of short form content. Social media apps, Vine was out. Instagram was just starting to become something. It didn't have the video portion yet, but you know what I'm saying. It was just coming out and stuff like that. So I feel like after having that for like a good decade, it kind of like rotted the people's minds. So pivoting towards this way would be a good avenue to now, you know what I'm saying, get more creativity towards music. You want to push people towards this avenue and watch music videos again to get the nostalgia of like, oh, this person's about to drop a music. Remember when MTV had behind the scenes, when
Yep.
they used to do the behind the scenes of the
Yeah.
video before you even got the video?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
was a whole thing behind it. So I think you could bring that back and just really tap into that market, because it's like you could really bring a whole bunch of new creativity into it, like whole open market of like new producers that want to create. That probably bring some competition. Like, nah, I can create a better music video than you. That will probably make the artist want to like step his game up. Be like, damn, I need to come up with a good concept for this video or just beat that because I want to make a good video for it. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that might elevate it to a different level. So I mean, I'm for it. So it just has to be. I just want to see how they're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's my main thing because I don't think it's an issue with artists pushing their artistry. Like most people don't realize, people who receive music dictates the music content. If most people, like, you have to realize, like, when artists release music, and in the artist's mind, if their new album don't sit with you no longer than maybe a couple of weeks, and it's a fire album, that's no help to the artist. So if you notice, artists don't even release 4 or 5 minute songs anymore. They
Mm-hmm.
go straight to the 2 minute songs because people are not receiving the songs in that long form anymore. Thus for the short form videos, because most people rather tap into a video of, girls stopping traffic, getting out the car, twerking, getting back in the car, than to watch a long form video. That, like how we grew up to. Those long form videos used to hold our attention. Those long form videos, I still watch those long form videos, but again, for me, growing up at that time, it's a bit different. The newer generation is going to be interesting how they're going to push it in the new era. I won't say it's the same generation, but in the new era on how they're going to do this, because what people receive and how they receive music and their attention span to the music, it don't sit with them for a long time. So the artist is not going to spend their all trying to be creative if it's not going to sit with you for a long period of time. Like that's why I mentioned Busta Rhymes and Missy Elliott. They was around at a time. Redman is another one that you could be creative, and the videos, the albums, the music, the body of music just sat with people for a whole year. Now,
Ludacris was good with that too, with his videos.
Luda too. If I didn't name you, doesn't mean you didn't make good videos, y'all.
Yeah, it's off the top. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We don't have a list of like top tier artists that got top tier videos. There's a bunch of y'all. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? I don't need Saigon that whole talking about yo. I had a couple fire videos he ain't mentioned. You know what I'm saying? They ain't not at Saigon, but you get what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? A plethora of artists that had fire videos. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to y'all. But you know, like I said, me personally, I think they need to move on to something that's this era and that will sit with this era. I wouldn't call it 106 in Park because it just gives an older energy. You know what I mean? That it did there, done that, cool. Let's have something newer. Let's have something that this era could really feel like it's theirs. Because one thing I love about the new era that we live in, the new era of music, that the new era sees the new artists as the GOATs. And I love that. In the era we grew up in, a lot of our older artists, they was like really they didn't want to get out the way. They didn't want to show that type of love. They didn't want to, you know what I'm saying? There was a lot of them that didn't want to do that. And people who that grew up with the music from us, they didn't see us as successful until we got with one of them or was around one of them. This era was like, yo, you don't gotta be around nobody. If you popping and you by yourself and you popping, and we gonna rock with you. So I love that new energy, and I think they need to bring a show based on that new energy. So, all right, y'all. Next hot topic. A woman lies on a man or rapper named Young Scooter, causing his fatal death. She made a phone call to 911 saying that she's seen, these men acting up, women are naked, and it's a whole lot of commotion going on in the house. Police went over there. People, dispersed. Young Scooter, I guess, tried to get away or run away from, the situation. Try to hop over a fence, and the fence in itself punctured him in some sort of way, and he ended up dying. What do you think about that?
The fact that she's getting called out for her actions, that's good. You mean you gotta be held, you gotta be held to your, you gotta be held accountable for what you've done. So that's what the state is doing with this charge. So I mean, I'm all for it. You know, you do something to cause somebody else to pass away when it was not needed.
Mm-hmm.
Your intervention was not needed at that point. You
Mm-hmm.
included yourself in the situation that you weren't called, you weren't asked to be in. Nobody, you know what I mean, brought you in at all. So you put yourself in that position, and now you got to answer for it. So
Now, before she got locked up in charge, she made a video post saying that she was abused by this particular person. That all the things that she said in the phone call that was going on actually happened to her. It just happened at a different time. So to that, you say what?
but anything can be used against you in the court of law. So you must, you going on live does not help your case at all. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to keep quiet, call a lawyer, and then speak to your lawyer. Going on social media does not help you at all at any point when you're going to get going or when your name is going to be called for, you know what I mean, a criminal investigation. So going on live does not help your case. You should be quiet, call a lawyer. If you don't have a lawyer, the court will appoint one for you. You know what I'm saying? So you made your bed, you got to sleep in it. So
Mm-hmm.
this is what accountability is all about. So you gotta be held accountable.
Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily her fault that this young man died, but she is the root of the cause. And people gonna say, well, how can you say both? Easily, because it's not up to it's not up to her that he took off and ran when he could have just stood there and dealt with the police, right? The police didn't have to go there with all that energy, right? But they are, because they police, their life is on the line, right? So because of that, there is a double sided to that. You can't be responsible for what actually happened, but if you're the root cause of it, you have fault in it. You may not be end all be all, but if you didn't make that call, the possibility of that man passing away that night, it at least lowers down 25%, at least, because they could have got rowdy and somebody could have shot or anything else could have happened that night. But because you made that phone call, you was a part of the root of why that they was there. Now, once they there, that's a whole nother story in itself. So it's two sides to that in particular, because if I have an argument with someone and within that argument they walk away even more upset, so much to the point they get in their car, they drive off, and they not even paying attention to the traffic. Is it my fault that they did that? No, because nobody told them to get in the car. Nobody told them to drive off. Nobody told them to drive while they mad. Nobody told them to not pay attention. Am I the root of that? No, I'm still not the root of that, because people have arguments all the time. But in her situation, she put law enforcement into a situation where they can dictate the outcome. So that's why that makes it double sided. So that's why I had to give that analogy on how that looks on both sides. I'm gonna shut up and call Santana with like shout out to Roll with Jack, man. Appreciate you always.
Yeah,
But
without her phone call, the police wouldn't have went in there with the pretense of whatever the phone call she made in the first place. You know what I'm saying? They probably wouldn't have even been there. Now, granted, not taking away from Scooter being in the house where it's guns and drugs on top of that too. Like, we gotta also bring that up. Like, bro, what are you doing?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So that also has to be put out there. But in the same sense, like, you're putting yourself in a position that you had no business being in. You know what I'm saying?
right. And if these things are true, that if he did do something to her, it sounds convenient after he passes away, because there's no history of that prior to. Now, if there was, I hate the shoulda, coulda, woulda, but in this particular instance, you should have had some sort of history that, not even alleged, that can prove that this man was doing things to you and so on and so.
One police report is all you need to corroborate your story.
Facts.
That's all you need. But since you don't have no police report, your credibility is, you know what I'm saying, iffy.
Facts. So that's how I feel about this situation. Like I said, it's a two-sided coin, but again, the root is still the root. Shout out to Rowan Jack for
Got
gifting.
you.
We
Next
appreciate,
episode, Rowan. I got you.
we appreciate you as always. He threw a Black's Law Dictionary word in there for my bro to look up for next episode, man. Rowan Jack is the best, man. Appreciate you, man. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Okay, y'all. Conspiracy alert. Conspiracy alert. Online raises flags after they realize the Tesla sign looks like a white hooded mask upside down. What do you think about that?
I think they reaching. It's a reach, and I'm all for conspiracy theories up to a T. You know what I'm saying, if it has like some legs, has some interesting backstory, like, you know what I'm saying, I'll ride the wave for a little bit. But this one is like,
Mhm,
nah, it's a reach. You know what I'm saying? And you
mhm,
know the old saying, you reach, I teach.
mhm.
So I feel that this one is a reach.
Okay, okay. Looking at it, I mean, there's no facts behind it, but if we was to find facts tomorrow and you look at the sign, then it'll be like, oh, yeah, I can kind of see it. So me personally, I could see it.
But it's funny, it's been there this whole time. Nobody saw it until somebody say, "Oh yeah," but now all of a sudden we started to see it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like nobody ain't catch it. Tesla been around for how long? That symbol been around for how long?
True. You know but we catch it when we catch it, regardless of how it's been around.
I feel it's a reach.
We catch it when we catch it. Me personally, I can see it. Now, is it true? We don't know. We don't know. Like for years, they said the Timberland sign was, a representation of slavery, where people was getting hanged from the trees and things of that nature. There's no real proof of that, but there's been documentation, supposedly, that leads up that the Ku Klux Klan actually owns the brand of Timberland. Didn't stop people from, near and far to supporting it. If it was to even be true, people would still buy it at this point. So could I buy it? I definitely could buy it, because looking at the sign, I could definitely buy it, because I never looked at the sign upside down before. So when you turn it upside down, I could definitely see it. I could see the eyes, I could see the hat, and I could see like the kind of the slick way that the drawing was done. Am I going to sit here and say that's the full blown truth? I don't know. But for me to sit here and say that it doesn't have remnants of the white hooded mask, I'll be lying to myself. I think it does. So it's a conspiracy alert. That's why I said conspiracy alert, conspiracy, conspiracy alert, conspiracy alert. So I can see it. When you call everyone a Nazi, you start seeing it everywhere. Elon is nah, he's not. Well, he says he's more African than African American. Nike spread the rumor about Timberland. Really, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I'm gonna look that up some more, Roman Jack. I'm gonna look that up some more, because again, we hear these things all the time. And we always say, where there's smoke, there's fire. Also, when there's smoke, there's just damn smoke. Sometimes it don't be true. Sometimes when somebody say, if 30 people say the same thing about you, then it gotta be true. No, depending on which 30 you ask. So at the end of the day, could I see it? I can. My bro think it's reaching. So I mean, but what say y'all in the chat? If you think so, say so. If you don't, say so. So either way, it is a conversation. And I don't know, it like Elon Musk, man, he did the whole Nazi type of sign a couple months back, and now the white hooded mask. I don't know, man. It's it's something to see, man. I'm not gonna turn a blind eye to it. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. I was joking about the last one. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So moving on to our next hot topic. Carmelo Anthony has been notified that he's been elected into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame class. But again, he's a nominee. He's not a finalist yet. What do you think about that?
Nice. Shout out to Carmelo Anthony to get nominated. You know what I'm saying? That's a big achievement. You put in the work. Yeah. The work you put in on the court is being seen by your peers to even get nominated. You know what I'm saying? That's dope right there.
Mm-hmm. I think Carmelo Anthony deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I think that. I really believe so. Carmelo Anthony has been a standout player throughout his career. I would love to see him win a championship, though. I'm not gonna lie. I just thought he was that caliber of player. Um, if you was to ask me who was the better player between him and LeBron James, probably within the first 3 years, even though LeBron James led the Cavaliers to a championship, I'm gonna say I'd rather have Carmelo Anthony on my team. That early Denver Nuggets Carmelo Anthony was a lethal, physical scoring machine, and he was just tough. And this is the Denver market. Like, he made Denver just be popping. They switched their whole uniforms for Melo. They brought in Allen Iverson to give him more juice out there. Kenyon Martin. So I really like Carmelo's game. I thought he was an excellent player, all-star. I think what actually hurt his career as far as basketball was going to the Knicks, but it also elevated his profile. Him going to the Knicks took his profile from here to through the roof, but because they was not good majority of the time that he was with the Knicks, it hurt him basketball wise. I thought he was better suited on a team like Detroit at the time when they had that particular team at Detroit or Chicago. I remember Chicago wanted him, and this was like, MVP, D Rose, Kirk Heinrich, Luau Dang, and those dudes. So I can't imagine you threw Carmelo in the mix of that. It was like it would have been scary hours.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember Melo turned down going to Chicago to going to the New York Knicks. He turned down going to Miami. People don't realize the original three was LeBron, Wade, and Melo. But it was all about that money on. Like New York was like, yeah, you go to New York. I mean, you go to Miami, y'all gonna win some chips. But you ain't gonna make this mucho dinero, Papi. Like, you gonna make a little something. But we're gonna make it do over here. You know what I'm saying? Gotham City, you heard? So that's why I say because they wasn't good when the Knicks wasn't good at the time. They tried, but they wasn't good. Elevated his profile, hurt his basketball chances of winning championships, but he's still a Hall of Fame player, one of the best scorers we ever seen in the league, and he deserves it. He deserves it, in my opinion. Anything you want to add to that?
No, that's a fact. Yeah, definitely Knicks hurt his career for that stretch of time he was there. But him getting nominated still is a good feat. So hopefully, you know what I'm saying, he gets that call that he got the nod.
Yeah. I think, and also the funniest time I've ever seen Melo, because at Melo very best to me was the USA games, but the funniest I've ever seen Melo is obviously when he was on the Knicks, and this was like in the throes of Linsanity, and somehow Melo was hurt at the time, and Jeremy Lin was going crazy. So now when Melo come back, like the first few trips down the court, normally Jeremy got the green light, like yo, it's up. Melo looked at this man like Jeremy just passed him the ball. It was like, yo, it's the Melo show again. Like, it's like, yo, you cool, but understand where you at right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Seven is back on the court, bro. So run that rock. You know what I'm saying? Jeremy just, here, bro. You know what I'm saying? I did this for you. You know what I'm saying? It's all about you, baby. You know what I'm saying? So that's the funniest I've ever seen Melo when he came back and deboed that situation. So shout out to Melo. Well deserved, great career. And looking forward to seeing Cayenne Anthony, continuing the success in basketball. Really good young player. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. This is more so a thing than an actual topic. Y'all, we have to, as a culture, as a society, learn how to establish credit. We have to learn how to do that because credit is so essential to the things that you have access to for the future and in the present. And if we don't work credit properly, you're going to miss out and you're going to overpay. Like I seen this video clip on on Instagram where people are buying cars, and this one woman, she's like, yeah, I put 21,000 down, right? She put 21,000 down, uh 21,000 down. She got a lifetime payment, and the vehicle was only like 60,000 or something like that. So it's like, so the same dealership kept running it up. Like, yeah, so now they got the next person. Yeah, so I put no money down. Yeah, I got a lifetime payment. How much you paying per month? Oh, I'm paying $530 a month. And it just kept going on and on. So it just made me think about vehicles and how we not realizing what APR means, and what the different type of credit uh percentages that they give it, learning how to do that. Like I even looked at a car payment, a car credit today, where let's say in the last 3 years you put $30,000 on your car in payments. 16 of that actually went to the principal. 14 of that went to the interest. So if you got 60 more months, you done paid for the car how many times? And that's again little things like that, learning how to use our credit, learning how to leverage our credit so that way we could get the most out of it, learning how to open up a credit card that would, if you're in a bind, you got 10,000 on your credit card, or learning how to use your personal credit to leverage for a business credit. So that way you could get a salary on your business credit if things really get rough and tough. And or you could take your business credit and do some all type of fly funky stuff with your things that would take your life to the next level. So y'all, we really have to do the research on credit, learning credit, because credit will really advance and excel your lifestyle. What do you think about the credit conversation?
Nah, credit definitely is important because a lot of the stuff stigma wise was used against us in a lot of different ways. So majority of the credit scheme was racially biased in its inception, because a lot of times people would have the down payment, would have all these things, and then they'll still find a way to make up something to like impede you on getting further. So having the knowledge on credit, I feel, is one of those things where they impeded on us getting further. Because if you could have just had credit in the beginning when we
Mhm.
fresh out of high school, you know what I'm saying, before even going to college, they'll give you fucking $20,000 to go to college, but it won't give us an education on how to take $20,000 in credit and turn it into something that will benefit the person, the economy, the government. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Mhm.
like, how's keeping people away from a certain type of knowledge benefiting you in the end, because it will
Mhm.
actually greatly benefit you if there's more people that have access to more business credit, because their credit is so big. So now they can actually expand their business, hire more workers, you know what I'm saying, make more products, and like make the economy grow. So
Mhm.
having that knowledge of credit, I feel, is huge. And especially if you pivot it to a now business credit, as you said, because now it's such a bigger bag and a bigger pool, and elevating your specific creative talent to now turn it into a corporation, turn it
Mhm.
into a foundation. Now you're leaving this foundation to your family, where they fighting on the 65th floor about who want to take over the OUV, the Records Foundational, you know what I mean, institute,
Right.
building, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you done started your joint way back when in the shack, and you just had $500 in credit. Now you got $1 billion in credit. You got a whole tower with your company
Mhm.
on it, and now your grandkids fighting about who want to continue the company because you had knowledge of credit. So it goes a long way.
Mhm. Shout out to Rowan Jack. I have 5 million small business loan available to me from serving 8 years active duty. Any ideas maybe on the next show? Yeah, man, it's so
Man,
much.
5 million? You can't open your bank or something with that?
You,
And it's
you,
like, I don't know. That's a
you could do
whew,
so
I'm
much.
gonna have to research that. You might be go study.
You could
Going
do
Jack, I'm gonna go study, boy.
you could do so much with that. So much with that. That's a whole nother conversation, Rowan Jack, that we could get into on what you could do with that. Trust me. You could, I'm telling you, you could freak it. You could freak that, because what people don't realize, when you have good credit, and more so consistent credit, and that's how you end up with good credit. No matter how low your credit is, you can always build it back up. You know, but in order to have credit, you have to have debt, y'all. That's one of the things I learned when I was about 27 years old. I went to go buy my first house. Save me some money. I'm hyped. I go look at the house. I go in the office. I'm like, yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, pull up my credit report. I know it's popping because everything that I buy, I pay for. So when they pulled it up, they say, you have no credit. We can't sell you this house. What you mean? Like everything that I had on credit, I paid it off. That's the problem. The problem is you paid it off. You carry no debt. So all these years, I had my knowledge that was second, third hand from my parents, and basically what they was told, and but how it used to be. Then when it was time for me to go buy a house, I had to basically start from scratch, like Martin. So I had to learn how to build credit that day, which was easy because I had assets, but I was looking to buy a house that day. I wasn't looking to hear that, yeah, you got to build the credit, then you got to come back to get this house. I wasn't trying to hear that, but in 2 years, I was able to qualify for that house again. But obviously, that house was gone because of the deal of the house. But the fact of the matter is that we don't do the research beforehand. And that's the main thing that we all have to do as far as learning how to use credit. Some of us more so than others. I had to learn credit by my own research and me going through the situation. That's how I learned credit, y'all, for real. And then, of course, being in the financial world outside of music, I know other things that people can do with their credit to advance their personal money as well as make a passive income with the credit as seed money. So it's different type of ways you can freak it, but learn credit, y'all, is very essential. It's very great for today, and it's going to be even better for tomorrow based on the current market that we live in. But you have to have some sort of debt to pay off of. That's how you build the credit up. That's how you get to that 700 credit score. I remember I had an ex, and she was like 21 at the time or whatever, and she was like, "Yeah, I got a 700 credit score." I'm like, how? Like, you live with me. Like, your car loan is wild, crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you got a 700 credit score? You don't. Like, now I'm telling you, but your credit limit is only like $600. You don't have a credit score of 700. I'm just telling you what I know. I'm telling you this so that way you could build up to a 700. And I'm telling you, I got some. There's no way that the assets and the debt won't carry that. You know what I'm saying? And the credit age is not old enough for you to have that because there's no pre-existing. Nobody else had you on their credit score or credit report for a period of time for you to gain their credit history and age. So I'm teaching you something so that way you can learn it and add it to you. I'm not going back and forth with you. I'm trying to help you out. So that was just one of them things again that we all have to learn just by doing the research. You just never realize what's available to y'all. Extra 5,000, extra 10,000, and you can live off the credit. That's why when we talked about Anthony Edwards' baby's mother, if she was smart, she's going to work with $5,000 a month, extra $5,000 a month. Get a job and bust your ass, and you could take that $5,000, save 1,000 a month for your kid. Cool. That's the that. Save that because you're already taking care of everything with the money that you work with. Take another 1,000 and invest it into the credit because at some point you could live off the credit and pay bills just with the credit, and all your money that you not touching, your hardcore cash, your liquid cash, it turns into added value, and you just pay off the credit. Because with credit, you just pay off little at a time in the interest. It's a beautiful way to do it, and I wish I would have learned it even at a younger age because it'll be even crazier. So, all right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. The Detroit land book uh, is trying to take this man's house. This particular man went viral about a couple weeks back. I would say a month back, where he has this massive property that spans basically about 4 blocks long and in width altogether, meaning like it's a block long, this way, a block long that way, block long, block. So y'all get my whole point. He has a whole block. He has like 2 houses on the property, and then he connected like overhead, so he could go from one property and walk to the next property without like going outside, and then going outside is all blocked off. And then behind the houses, there's garages, separate garages that he could walk to, and then behind the garages is like another landfill of just space that he cleaned up, and you could tell he's about to put more homes on that particular property. So now the Detroit Land Book is trying to take this man's home. What do you think about that?
Why are they trying to take it? Like because he cleaned it up, made the area better now. Now that he put his money in, now they're trying to come in like, oh, you didn't pay this ordinance, or they're gonna come up with some type of loophole as far as how they're gonna try to uproot him out that property. And I'm just hoping that he, when taking over each property at a time, to now take the whole block over each property you took, was probably done correctly. So I'm trying to figure out what the city could possibly come at him for. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's weird.
Well, he wouldn't specify online. He just said that they're trying to take my home, and he has to go through a whole strenuous court, uh, you know, situations coming up, court dates and things that they're trying to do. He has to get himself a lawyer to protect his assets. Obviously, um, I think I sent you a video of it not too long ago. Um, and of this particular property is unlike any other property that you will ever see, especially in Detroit. If this property and the way he did this house was in New York, it would be a spectacle because he literally took both houses and connected it. And he didn't connect it from, the side. He connected it from you go to the top floor and you walk basically a bridge from one house to the next.
Mm.
It looks so fire, by the way.
And then also, like, Detroit was deteriorating in many neighborhoods anyway. I'm pretty sure he took a neighborhood that had a bunch of abandoned homes, because that's the
Yeah.
only way I could see him taking over a whole block. A whole block is a multitude of homes. It's like over 30, 40 homes. So it had to be in a neighborhood where it was deteriorated and it was like just a bunch of abandoned properties for him to take over each one individually, you know what I'm saying, to
Hmm.
now have that whole block under his control, to now do all the building of the two properties and having it connect to each other, and then still have space, because we're still in a whole block now, still
Hmm.
have space to now erect other properties as well that could possibly be used as rental space or whatever. But it's good that it's going to court, because now we could see everything will be in light, shed to light once it's in court, because I want to see what is the city's grievance as to what he did. I want to see what do they have over him. So any other people can now see what the city can do. You're trying to take over a block and this, that, and
Right.
the third. So yeah, let it go to court. So now everything could be out there. And then once the court case is done, or whatever the judgment is, I guess the constituency, as far as the public, can know how to go about this moving forward when another person want to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm. And for him to do that in Detroit, that wasn't difficult, especially for them unserved neighborhoods. Because I remember there was a time and point back in about 2000. This was before COVID. I was looking to buy a whole bunch of property in the Cleveland area where it was dirt cheap, where houses. I mean, they was basically like what they would call I forget the term. I'm killing the duplex properties for 60,000 with 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, and it's house style, but they consider it a duplex or they consider it a condo for 60,000. So I can't imagine him getting that type of property for even cheaper than that in a place like Detroit. In a place like Detroit, I mean, in certain areas it looked like little Baghdad, and I know for a fact in certain places in Detroit, you get in a palace for about 15,000, and you put the work into the house, rebuilding the house, putting new floors, new ceilings, and so on and so forth. And once you put the work in, the value of that house is going to be through the roof. So for him to do that for a whole particular block and then turn that block into his one property is outstanding. But like you said, it's great that they are going to court because of, again, what you said is that they can shed light to it. So, it's just crazy how he did all the hard work. he made it look fire because that the two houses look cool. But the fact that he connected the joints, not from the bottom, but from the top, which is just like, yo, he got to go upstairs and he could just, I just feel like chilling in the other crib tonight. You know what I'm saying? And then he could just walk over there and bust moves. So I just thought that was just so fire and it's so massive on how he has the property. It's super fire. So now that he done made it look all gorgeous, now they want to come and, you know what I'm saying, take his shine. So, which is crazy. The tax man came after my friend when he saved up some brick from construction jobs to uh, line his trailer to make it look nice, and they said it was no longer a mobile home. Really, really, wow, wow. Because I know some mobile homes are really, really nice, and so his friend, got a lot of bricks throughout his construction and was able to. People don't realize how expensive bricks and concrete is. That's a racket in itself. Concrete and bricks, that's a racket. So wow. So he said he has so much bricks to add to the mobile home that they didn't even consider the mobile home no more. That's wild. That's wild. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Uh, NCAA, that damn NCAA, faces backlash after not allowing Colorado play Syracuse for their spring game because they felt like it was going to give both schools an unfair advantage in recruiting. What do you think about that?
How? Ain't the recruiting class? Ain't recruiting over? We're talking about spring game now.
Right. So because no other schools are playing against each other. And of course, when you hear Colorado, you know it's going to be on ESPN or a big network. So because of that, they're now pairing Colorado as the new. That's the. And so it makes it feel like they gain an unfair advantage as far as exposure.
How? How was they getting unfair advantage of opposed to other schools like Alabama, LSU, and all these top tier schools? Your name and your presence alone should not have to worry about another school that's trying to get their name up if your name is already there and your
Mm-hmm.
credibility has already been there. What's the problem of trying to why? Because it's Deion Sanders in the Colorado ball.
You
You know what
know,
I'm saying? Like, which one is it?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
then again, if it's about the money, let it be about the money. Because if it's good, if it's more exposure towards the school and the children and the kids and all that, ain't that going to be good for NCAA anyway? At the in the long run,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Get the kids to the bowl game. You know what I'm saying? And all that. Ain't
And,
that the
and,
the whole point of it? You get to a bowl game, so you get the sponsors and you get the TV deals. Isn't that the name of the game? What are we talking about here?
and they said it's a bit unfair because the players may have conflicting schedule conflicts, which is also BS because Syracuse was willing to go to Colorado. So they said the Syracuse players would be facing hardships as far as conflict, as far as their scheduling and things of that nature as well.
How if they said we willing to go out there? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just wow. We just was talking about NCAA and they goofiness, and this is just another aspect of when extorting doesn't want to go, when extorting don't go their way. Because you're extorting anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because you're
You
making money off the programs, off the schools, regardless.
you
Syracuse and Colorado via
back.
all the games, TV deals, right? But
Mhm.
then when the deals is at the table where it can make more money on, now all of a sudden it's a problem. Make it make sense. You don't give a damn about the kids' schedule.
They, they,
Come
they don't.
on, come on.
And then
And
and you
then not to cut you off, on top of that, they made a presence known to set it up where it doesn't affect the student scheduling with class and all that stuff. So if Syracuse was able to make the scheduling work, then what is NCAA really talking about here?
right. Because all right, so you probably haven't realized, right? The ACC went the realignment, right? The ACC is known for basically, your North Carolina schools, South Carolina schools, your Virginia schools, got some Florida schools, right? That's the ACC. Your Virginia Techs, your Dukes, your North Carolina, your Clemson. Cool, right? But because of the realignment, y'all got SMU in the ACC. SMU is in Texas, in Dallas, Texas. Y'all, what are y'all talking about scheduling? Stanford is in the ACC. Y'all don't care about scheduling. If dudes from California got a Cal is in the ACC now. So you got Cal, Stanford, and SMU in the ACC, Texas, and California traveling back and forth to play against schools in Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Louisville, Boston College. What are we talking about?
A lot of buffoonery right now.
Not to mention Syracuse. Syracuse is in the ACC. So what are we talking about? So at the end of the day, it had nothing to do with the scheduling. I think it had everything to do with because Deion Sanders is at Colorado. Deion Sanders has made Colorado, and it's hard for me to say it too, but it's not hard for me to say it at the same time because I'm a Michigan fan. I still root for Coach Deion, but Colorado is the premier school now as far as relevancy. They're not the top school as far as players, obviously, because there's a building program. They're not Alabama in the terms of talent yet. They're not the Ohio. They're not Michigan. They're not LSU. They're not these schools in the eyes of talent yet. But will they be soon? Absolutely. The recruiting class that they keep bringing in year after year, the coaching staff that they have there is second to none as when it comes to experience, playing experience, coaching experience. So now with Colorado being who they are, high profile, Coach Dion just got that $54 million extension. Syracuse coach carries that. He carries he don't carry Dion energy, but he a brother, so he carry that. Like we coming to get it, baby. He carry that energy. Like what's happening, Dion? But it's out of respect. It's no disrespect, but he wants to play top tier competition. So because of that, they feel like the players was going to now look at Syracuse and Colorado and be like, why am I here at Bama again? Why am I here at Miami again? Why am I here at Wisconsin again? I'm going to go to Colorado. I'm going to go to Syracuse. So that was their reasoning for that.
I mean, it's still a cop out because at the end of the day, it's still up to the kids. It's up to the student's choice. And then when he makes that choice to go to the school, it's up to the school to keep the student there.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? If he leaves, that's your fault. It's not the student's fault because he was there in the first place. Mm-hmm. Why don't y'all do whatever you were supposed to do to keep the student? Now you created a portal where a student can leave and go somewhere else. You don't be mad about the rules you created. You know what I'm saying? Like it's weird. So it's like it's that double, it's the hypocrisy for me. It's like none of that excuses make any kind of sense in any kind of relevancy. Because at the end of the day, it's gonna be a huge deal. Ratings gonna go crazy and it's gonna sell tickets.
Yes.
Is it not gonna make money?
That's gonna make a whole lot of money.
What are we talking about here? Mm-hmm. Like stop.
One thing I do love about the new college football is the portal because it really puts the onus on the players to go to the school, and if they want to be great, they're going to be great. They're going to put the best effort. But the onus is really on the coaches, on not just playing the player, but it's about the treatment as well. It kills the days of hoarding talent. The era before now wasn't based on talent. College football now is based on talent because you have no choice as a football coach. You can't sit a kid just because you can't expect the kid to sit 3 years because you got all these other players ahead of him. He came there to play. And if you told this young man, hey, you could come to the school, if you work hard enough, you could start. That don't mean you're going to be a starter. But if you do what you're supposed to do and perform, you're going to start. So you can no longer hoard players for 3-4 years at a time and just have a row of guys back to back like that anymore. You're forced to play your best players because of the new form of college football. Back then, a coach could say to a player, "Hey man, you need to cut that out. I don't even have to play you this year. I could redshirt you and you could sit the whole year." And coaches had all the power. And them same coaches, if they had a great season, they could up and leave when they wanted to. Hence the kid not being able to take advantage of an opportunity elsewhere if one is actually presented for him. So I love this new era of college football because of the portal, but now because of kids are able to leave in the frequency that they're able to do it, now they want to change the portal rules for not having 1 year restrictions. Now they want to make it 2 year. So you have to be at a school 2 years before you could. That's what they're trying to change it to right now, which I think is a hypocrisy in itself as well too. What are you holding the kid for another year for? To show him what? To show him that he's going to play? A kid doesn't leave because he's not going to play 1 year. He's not going to leave because of that. Most times when kids come to school, they enjoy school first. College, you enjoying college first and what college have to offer. The activities, the women, being independent basically for the first time, not seeing your parents every day. That's what the average young man is navigating. Football is cool, but we're gonna get to football. So he's not gonna leave because you ain't playing me my freshman year, so I'm out. No. If a kid feels that like he's that good, then he's going to leave if you're telling him he's going to play and he's not playing. So I love the new rule. I think it's whack. I think it doesn't hurt college football, but NCAA, man, like for real, like there needs to be some sort of a standard. But NCAA, they get it wrong damn near every single time when it comes to this stuff. They should have let them play this game, but they felt like because only Colorado and Syracuse get to play each other this year creates that unfair advantage. And was so whack about it when next year come around, there's going to be several schools that's going to be able to have their spring game against each other. It's just not going to be the two schools. Stupid. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Former NBA player Matt Barnes reveals that Shaq is offering money to find dirt on Shannon Sharp. What do you think about that?
Is that for real?
Yeah, now that's for real.
Obviously, the money that he put up, nobody know how to keep their mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? Like, because how you gonna find the dirt if now everybody knows you're looking for the dirt? You know what I'm saying? It's just like you're supposed to do that on the sneak tip, like quietly, like all right, sneak around, call, hey, let's have a luncheon and this, that, and the third, and then you know what I'm saying? That's how you're supposed to do it. You going out on live. I mean, how was it done? Like, how did this whole transaction happen?
Well, he told Matt Barnes, and Matt Barnes told the rest of the world.
Damn, son, yo, Shaq, yo, you just first you had Jess Hilarious at your crib. She blew that whole thing up. And then you tell Matt Barnes something, he blew. Like, what's going on? Shaq, do they got something against you? Like, what's? I'm pretty sure you told that brother that information to him in confidence, knowing that it's supposed to stay between y'all. I'm assuming. You know what I'm saying? These are all assumptions here. But the mere fact of this a situation with just a lad blowing up your spot about how you live in your own crib, which is crazy. And then Matt Barnes blowing up, like, wow, it's just man, it's just terrible, son. Yo, either they got something against Shaq or I don't know. That don't even make no sense. Like and why he want dirt on Shannon Sharp? What Shannon Sharp do to Shaq?
Well, that I'm not sure of what he did to Shaq in particular, but it has to be something for Shaq to make these type of calls and get this around the realm of this circle to try to get dirt on Shannon Sharp. So
I think it's cap. I think it's like publicity and like you know what I'm saying to just for numbers and ratings and stuff like that because. Let's realistically look at it. Shaquille O'Neal, you're a multi-millionaire because I bet you ain't hear about the situation where he had when he was with Shaunice O'Neal there was a supposed sex tape out, and he had to get some people to go get that. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really out like that. It was hit rumors, this, that, and the third. But my point is, things was done quietly. So if you wanted real dirt on somebody, you would hire a private detective. You have the money to do it. You know what I'm saying? You have lawyers. You have people to get quote unquote dirt on somebody. But you tell Matt Barnes you want dirt on shit. Come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that angle to it. But then also is the angle of like, if you telling somebody something in secret and they go tell your business to somebody else, it's like, what was their motive behind it? Like, did they have animosity towards you, Shaquille O'Neal, or is there something else going on? Because this doesn't even make any sense for real.
And I'm not gonna lie, like Matt Barnes have always came across like a solid dude in a sense where like if he mess with you, he mess with you. So for him to say it something must have happened in the background where he feels disrespected or he felt like something was out of pocket for him to say that. Me personally, I wouldn't move that way, me personally, but I can see how he would move in that particular instance, feeling like, yo, this is my get back. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to take it to the next level. We could just play it. We could just play it like this. You know what I'm saying? We could play media games. You want to play media games? We could play media games. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was kind of like on probably his motive. I'm not sure, obviously, but it's just funny that this is out because I don't know. Shannon Sharp is killing the game. I will say that when it comes to the media space and everything that he has going on. I mean, Shaquille O'Neal, like you said, he's a multimillionaire, if not a billionaire. Like, dude, like you got more pressing things to do than worry about what anybody say. Like, it's crazy for me. I don't care what people have to say about me in my bracket. So if I had Shaquille O'Neal's money, oh Lord, the amount of not giving a F, oh my God. Like my amount of not giving a F now is crazy. So I can't imagine if I had his type of bread, whoo, it would oh my God. So it's just crazy to me. And then like you said, it must be something because like it just I for just hilarious that felt all like looking for numbers. Like it feels like the Breakfast Club is looking for them numbers because they finding every which way to stay, like pulling every trick in the book to get them numbers up, get their dollars up. And the Breakfast Club is a legendary show, so you wouldn't think that they would stoop to these like tactics. It felt like a tactic when she was at Shaquille O'Neal house and then blew up his spot. It's like this man had you at his home as a guest, and hey, I don't care if I ever get invited back. And it's like,
It's always at the expense of a melanated person. It's always at the expense. It's never at the expense of your own self. You always want to put down in media. It always seems like it's a melanated person that majority of melanated men that don't have that good light on them. It's always something negative. You never leave the game clean. So
right?
you always have a stigma, asterisk, or what if, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Air quotes by your name, questionable. Like it's never clean. It's never ever clean. It's always something sus. Like it always rubs me the wrong way when it's us, and then you expect your other mans to be cool, and then he's real wishy-washy. You know what I'm saying? Just like Gordo said, they pick niggas for this because it's like if you was really my mans, you would never do that. But then again, it's like you're not my mans, we co-workers. You know what I'm saying? We work together. You're a man, you somebody I worked with. You know what I'm saying? You ain't my mans for real. So it's like, again, why would he do that to Shaq remains to be seen.
Like I said, it's something that is going on amongst that relationship because when you solid like that, things like that don't get out.
It's not supposed to.
It just don't get out. Like I can't even think of there are very few people that I have fallen out with that our dealings is out in the public. Now, our dealings may be known to the people that surround me for their benefit because if they come around, they know what type of energy I'll be on. Like Like my bro could tell you, like I'm a solid dude, but when I feel away, I'm not the type of dude to not say nothing. I'ma say something. I'ma say something. If you try to play me on top of that, it's not pretty what I might do. Cause I might be unpredictable at times. But the point that I'm making is that regardless, whatever I go through with people, it doesn't become public. It comes private. I consider my family private. See the difference? It's not out for public consumption. I've never had a falling out with somebody and I turn our dealings into public consumption for my benefit and their falter. I don't mention their name. I may mention the situation, but I'm not going to mention them by name and this, that, and the third. I just don't operate like that. Like that's why I find it kind of weird when people be friends, and then somebody will pass away, and then they get with their wife. And be like, why would you do that? Like, was y'all ever friends? To get with somebody's wife, or you say you're like, yeah, we no longer friends no more. So I feel like I need to tell you, y'all smashed your wife a couple times back in the day. Why y'all was together? And it's like that don't make you no friend. That makes it even worse.
Mhm.
So again, something is muddy in the waters in that situation, and it's revealing itself with all these things coming out. So anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, just wait for whatever that aspect to come out. It's gonna come out later on. I'm just gonna be intrigued to see what that whole situation is about because it's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Muddy waters. Muddy waters. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, our petty thought segment. This segment is brought to you by Bravo Section. Make sure you go to bigbravosection.com. Again, bigbravosection.com. If you're in the Miami area, you can book a session with one of the best photographers in the world. If you're not, they can still come out and take care of your session. You can also buy dope photography as well off the site. So make sure you go to bigbravosection.com. Again, bigbravosection.com. You got a petty thought for us? Petty law, Black's Law Dictionary.
Definitely got some words from the Black's Law Dictionary. It's very important that we understand the words that we use every day. The legal definitions behind these words is very important. And I feel as though them only giving us a Webster's dictionary version of these words was just only a minor aspect of it. Getting the legal version and the legal definition of these words give a broader aspect of how we use these words and how these words kind of put us in a bind sometimes if we don't know what we're doing. So Rowan Jack had a public servant last week, but again, I have the 6th edition, so we go through this all the time, finding words, and they're not in the later edition. So this is why I would say if you could get a first edition of whatever book you're going after, is just better because I feel the later editions in certain books they may be taking certain things out. Because if you already have the first edition, there's no need to you get a second edition, a third edition. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no new words in law. You know what I'm saying? All these words is old words. There's no new words in law. So this was public servant was the word that you gave me, and they did not have public servant in the 6th edition of the Black's Law Dictionary. So this is why I stress getting maybe the third, or if you can, get in the first edition. So I was able to get public service. So this one's for you, Rowan Jack. So public service is a term applied to the object and enterprises of certain kinds of corporations which specifically serve the needs of the general public or conduce to the comfort and convenience of an entire community, such as railroads, gas, water, and electric light companies, and companies furnishing public transportation. So public service is all the goods that we use for the greater good of the public. Right. So next word, which is very interesting, we had a talk about this again. Like I said, these are random words. I picked them randomly, but it just happens to work with this situation. So next word is False Claims Act. So a federal act providing for civil and criminal penalties against individuals who knowingly present or cause to be presented to the government a false claim or bill, or deliver less property to the government than what is billed for, or make or use a false record to decrease an obligation to the government. The statute provides an enforcement to its provisions either by the U.S. Attorney General or in the quiet time actions by private persons. So False Claims Act was used when you were dealing with the government and you was trying to double build the government. Yo, I gave you 10, you build the government for 10, but you really gave them 5. So, you know what I'm saying? False claim. And now with the case that we were talking about, young Scooter, False Claims Act, that can be used against that one um, because it was a false record to decrease the obligation of the government, and they can use the U.S. Attorney General to push the issue. So in Georgia, the Attorney General there is gonna be the one that brought up the charges. All right. So next word is lame duck. So a lame duck is an elected office holder who is to be succeeded by another between the time of the election and the date that that his successor is to take office. A spectacular spectacle in stock who has overbought and cannot what word is this? Cannot meet his commitments. So a lame duck is in that period where you're about to get off office and you really don't have no power to really do anything. So you just really just sitting there waiting for the time for you to finish office so the next person can supersede you. All right. So that last word on the list is marketability. So it's the probability of selling property, goods, securities, services, etc., at a specific time, price, and terms. So you have a certain type of certain type of product, and you want to get it, you want to get into the market real fast, like that time. Which one called Sexy Red push her horrible line of lip gloss, but it was a marketability aspect because you wanted to get the product out there fast and sell the product fast because of the hype that you created behind the product. So that's marketability. So my words this week were public service, False Claims Act, lame duck, and marketability. Again, if you have any words that you want to share in the chat, throw it on. I'll definitely look it up for next week. And of course, they may or may not be there because it is the 6th edition, but I'll still look anyway.
So Sexy Red had what, like period red, gonorrhea green, or something like that?
Yeah, just booty hole brown, just, you know what I'm saying? But for the marketability, it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
It was just that short time, you made that quick money. Same thing that they do with those Bitcoins. And when celebrity or, you know what I'm saying, a certain content creators pitching the Bitcoin, all of a sudden get the whole hype about it, get the market behind it, you know what I'm saying, to get the value of it up. So I mean, same scenario.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Coleslaw orange.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Toenail brown, you know what I'm saying? Ear back,
herpy
earring
yellow.
back, you know what I'm saying?
Herpy yellow. Inner spit gray. Like what's wrong with you? But nah, I definitely get it. Dope words. Again, some of my bros some words, so he'll look them up for and have them available for the next show. Shout out to Vic in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. One of our day ones, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for tapping in, man. Hit them likes, hit them 100s, hit them likes, hit them 100s. Hey Ash, were you in a boy band in the 90s? Nah, man. I wish I was. Look, being in the boy band in the 90s as a kid would have been top tier. Like what happened to the dudes that sung Aisha? You know what I'm saying? Like Another Bad Creation. They was popping back in the early 90s. Like what? I would have gave anything to be a little boy band. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm about to lie. My very first group I was ever in, I was 8 years old. Me and my other two homies. You know what I'm saying? We had 2 songs, you know what I'm saying? And we was called the Fly Boys, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, the Fly Boys that's a fly 90s name, Fly Boys, you know what I'm saying? At 8 years old, dance, rap, you know what I'm saying? Good time. My other boys sung at the time, Fly Boys, you know what I'm saying? You'd have bought a copy, you know what I'm saying? So, but that would have been fire though. Yeah, that was a little bow out. Nah, 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 nah. But shout out to Vic, shout out to Rowan Jack. Y'all funny. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, our Keep the Lie Live segment.
Keep the lie live.
The Lie Live. So my Keep the Lie Live for this episode, y'all, is stay in tune to different frequencies. Learning something different doesn't have to interrupt your process, especially when your process is not successful. I say that because, in light of a recent interview due to the Breakfast Club again, they had legendary actress Felicia Rashad. And Felicia Rashad did an amazing interview, and I'm not an avid Breakfast Club watcher, but because it was Felicia Rashad, I had to watch. I had to. And she was on there promoting, you know, she's in a new play and she got new things going on. But in the light of their conversation, she spoke on women and the young ladies. So there's a lot of backlash based on her advice for a lot of the young women that's out here that's active in the world. And her biggest critique was, well, her main critique was, is that women has to be aware of what they're wearing. I'm paraphrasing. They have to be aware of what they're wearing because at the end of the day, your presentation is everything, especially if you're looking for attention from a man. Dressing like you have some sense with some clothes on is more inviting to a man or men than being half naked. She also said, and again, I'm paraphrasing, but she did say this, that a lot of the new women are naturally beautiful, but they're basically choosing to be half naked. She didn't go into the aspect of makeup and all the other unnecessary enhancement that most women who want men already said we don't need all the enhancement. But most women would say they don't do it for men. But your goal is to deal with a man. But because we hold this court or we hold standard to it, now you're not doing it for us, or the few is not doing it for us. The ones who are doing it for the men, we don't need a whole lot of enhancement. We don't need you to dress inappropriately or improper out in public. It's very hard as any man and as men that we're going to want to claim somebody who's moving out of pocket. Underdressing is a form of moving out of pocket. It's a form of delusion because you're not caring what your presentation is and what it look like, and then expect to get respected at a top tier level. You're going to get respected from a basic human respect, but if you're dressed as a piece of meat, you're going to get treated as a piece of meat. Simple and plain. Because for our experiences as men, it's easy to find the holes. Because when she dressed like a hoe, she talks like one, times out of 10, she's going to be one. There are very few exceptions that women like to argue that all women are not hoes just because they may dress like one. It's confusing based on the physical. So, ladies, when you see a guy that you like, you look at the physical first. Men, when we say things that we like because we're very visual, we don't look at any woman who's underdressed and be like, damn, I know she's smart. Damn, I know she got a good heart. Damn, I know she's solid. Damn, I know she's not a hoe. How can we tell when you're dressed promiscuously? And most women that we go up to that dress like that invites a certain energy. once they're interested. Most men don't know a woman is interested until they speak. Some men can tell by body language, can tell by eye contact. But women who want to be treated with respect, guess what, ladies? They wear the uniform. So you have to be in tune to different frequencies, especially when your outcome haven't been great. It hasn't been plentiful for you. You're still going through the same rat race. So if you want to get treated as such, you got to dress as such. If you dress as a police officer, nine times out of 10, you're going to get treated like one. Look at the movie Let's Be Cops. They wore the uniform just for a prank or whatever, and everybody was treating them like damn police. If you act, dress, and your presentation is whorish, stripperish, you're not going to get treated with the utmost respect. Be in tune to different frequencies that are going to teach you something so you get different outcomes. That's my keep the lie alive for this episode. The amount of backlash that this woman, Felicia Rashad, is getting from this new era of women who, and I'm not saying all of them, but the women who spoke against her is bugging. That's Felicia Rashad. That's top tier. Still fine. This woman is like in her 70s and she's still fine. She's been natural. You could go back to pictures of her in the 80s, natural, with clothes on, and look flawless. If anybody should be giving y'all game, it's her. And it's crazy how somebody of that stature that accomplished things in her business space, personal space, can have all these experiences and can't give it to the people that need it the most without some sort of backlash. Where for men, we thrive on that. We thrive on that. Getting feedback or getting good energy from the big homies. We listening to that all day. Like men? I just don't understand how the frequencies is being rejected when your outcomes have been trash. What do you think, bro?
First of all, if the person that's giving the information is an example of what you want to be, accomplished, have businesses, this, that, has a family, this, live all, have all these hats, and you still don't want to take the information or the critique in a positive light, just showcases like this, you can't save them. You know what I'm saying? Like 3-6 Mafia said, don't save them. They don't want to be saved. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no point. Felicia Rashad was born in 1948. It is 2025. You got to understand the life that she's seen. It has to be for our parents and our parents who are still alive. It has to be such a hard pill to swallow, pause, to grow up in a certain type of life, in a certain type of way, and that way of life is gone, non-existent no more. So you try to at least save what you can of what the life you used to see and used to be comfortable with. You try to save some of it. And the little bit of information you try to give to people, they scoff and scoff at it. But meanwhile, these people who scoffing at it want to tell you they got these degrees and they got these businesses, this, that, and the third. Okay, she got degrees, she got businesses too. So why is it the information that she's giving you is not received in the light of somebody that you want to be one day? You don't want to be a Felicia Rashad, accomplished in all her attributes. So what do you want to be then? You know what I'm saying? Car guys chill with car guys. Football guys chill with football guys. Basketball guys chill with basketball guys. You gonna chill with hoes, and you want me to think that you're not a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all wear the same outfit, y'all talk the same rhetoric. So how am I supposed to differentiate? Oh, nah, you're a good girl. Because why? It's you, but you wear the outfit. I can't see the difference. You know what I'm saying? So if someone's telling you that your presentation is everything, because you're not wearing that at work. So you know the difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know the difference. So it's like you picking and choosing it, and it's not. That's a game you don't want to play. Picking and choosing when it's convenient for you is going to only lead to heartache and pain, because when it's time for it to be on you, it's going to be in a position where you can't change the outcome. You can't finesse it. It's going to be in a point where you got to accept it, and it's going to be a hard pill to swallow because you've been running away from it for so long. So now when it smacks you in the face, you can't be mad when it happens, because there was an opportunity before it got to that point where you could have alleviated the situation, changed it up, maybe dress a little bit more appropriately. It's so, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's too many designers out here. It's too much fit and glam. We grew up where your face card was everything. My favorite artist still to this day is Aaliyah. And because Aaliyah had such a swag, like she just wore jeans and a crop top and a jacket, and shorty was fly.
It was different.
Talking about writing a 4-page letter. Like, I was in love and I was a little kid. You know what I'm saying? I want a 4-page letter. You know what I'm saying? Why can't I get a 4-page letter?
Aaliyah was so fly to me. I named my daughter after her.
Like, the shit so fly, kicking dust was ill. I mean, just kicking dust in the music video. You gotta go back and watch the music video to understand 4-page letter. But my point is, you didn't need all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be serious, but y'all should know already. It's hard.
No, because in the scene where she kicking wild dust, and my man,
come on, talk about it.
He trying to do the lambada dance with her. And it's like,
trying to matrix the dust. Like, damn, we done did the scene 3 times already. I got mad dust on me, son. How many times you gonna kick this dust, son?
And he in white linen pants. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing but the best. You know what I'm saying? Top tier linen. You know what I'm saying?
The finest.
Purest of white. You know what I'm saying? Best cotton. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm sorry. Best linen. My fault. But again, it's like, how can you information and that constructive criticism, good constructive criticism, and scoff at it. It's just like, at this point, it's like, if Jesus can't save these hoes, why are you trying? What makes you think you greater than Jesus, my nigga? At this point, you know what I'm saying? It's like, if you find the one that's really for you and for your program, keep. But for the rest of them, it's like, it's really hard to really choose from y'all, because y'all all wear the same uniform. That's all we saying. It could be a damn teacher, she's wearing the same uniform. Flight attendant, she wearing the uniform. A police officer. How are you upholding the law, but you know what I'm saying, you selling sex?
Mm-hmm.
How does upholding the law and selling sex go together?
Mm-hmm.
Mommy, I don't want to see you in a tight outfit with the body cam on. Did you catch the criminal that robbed me for my car? That's all I care about. That's why I called you, Ma. You here to solve crimes, top cop. That's why you here. Why are you wearing the tight fit? I don't care about that. Go solve the crime. Go chase some criminals.
Oh, man.
That's your job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go save some lives. Not wearing the tight onesies at the patient office. Like, what's that about? You're supposed to check my blood pressure, not, you know what I'm saying, get me aroused.
Right.
I don't know what's going on. I'm here to check my blood pressure, but you come in here with the tighties on. I don't know what's up.
I can see them all through the shirt. Like, yo, y'all
I got a history of hypertension in my family. You know what I'm saying? So check you know what I mean? Check my blood pressure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no, you gotta sell sex in the damn emergency room. What is going on here?
Yeah.
Where's the professionalism?
Mm-hmm.
That's all we want. So professionalism. Like, just hold yourself to a certain standard that you want other people to hold you. But you can't come out here with that same standard and you got the thotty wear on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mom. Whatever you say, I'm not listening to it. You could be accomplished. You could be the top tier surgeon. You could be top cop. But you come out with the joints out, I don't care about none of that.
Mm-hmm.
All of that stuff goes out the window. It's like, oh yeah, well, all right. Mm-hmm. I'm not listening out there.
Yeah, she clearly not wearing no drawers under that top cop fit. You know what I'm saying? All you see is cheeks, cheeked up, caked up.
I want to find out who stole my rims, but you over here cheeked up.
You know what I'm saying?
My whole car in 4 crates. I'm trying to find out who stole my rims. You over here tight, tight draw. You know what I'm saying? Nah. Go solve the crime. Somebody stole my rims. Go find out. I'm just making up a story. It ain't happening, but I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah, but it's the frequency that continues to be pushed, and that's what makes the eras different. Is frequencies, is not being able to hear and listen on what other people who are accomplished and the things that you're looking for. The light is tearing me up right now. And what you're looking to do. In this particular situation, this woman is accomplished in all aspects of in her life. Family, she was married for a long period of time to a top tier dude with Ahmad Rashad, had her family, had a great career. She just did so much. She accomplished things on her personal life, education, just every aspect that you could possibly think of. And she's still kicking ass. And she gets backlash, and her statements wasn't a judgmental statement. Her statement was based on what she sees and what can be better in the treatment of us as people. Because one of the things that she said, one thing that we do as a people, she feels that we treat each other right. That's how she feels. I don't feel that we treat each other right, but she feels that way. But even though I feel differently than her, I'm not going to sit here and trash her for having a difference of opinion, for having a difference of experience. So at the end of the day, when she's giving that frequency and that energy to some of the women, my apologies, y'all. The light is starting to tear me up a little bit. When she's giving that type of frequency and it's being rejected, and this woman is not like I don't want to name any names to downgrade anybody, but this woman is top tier and been top tier for forever. She been beautiful, and she learned how to turn the things that she learned from her parents, her upbringing, the education, the experiences. Debbie Allen is her sister. She's also accomplished, been married, and all this, that, and the third to top tier dudes, and this, that, and third. So they have game, they have perspective on life that other people would benefit from. Now, if they was to hoard that energy and information, or now they mess up because they hoard the energy. But now when she give it and see the little things that could turn into something a whole lot better and have better outcomes and energy for the average woman, now she's bugging. Again, be in tune to different frequencies. It's for your betterment. Her giving that game is not for her, it's for y'all. She done lived her life, and she's still continuing to live life. She's doing a whole play right now, one of the biggest plays on Broadway, directing it. Come on now, like at some point you can't be engulfed into your own foolishness. People have to get outside their comfort zone and grow. That's the only way you're going to grow, is being comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's the only way you grow. Mentally, spiritually, and physically. You want to lose a little weight? Guess what? You got to be uncomfortable. You got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You want to learn how to comprehend at a quicker, faster pace, so that way, when things is going on in time, that you don't crash out. Then you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And same thing with everything else. Frequencies. All right, y'all. Yo, it's been another great show. Y'all been amazing for tuning in. We want to thank y'all for tuning in every Sunday, every Thursday at 10:30. Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast? We are on. I want to thank some of our badge holders already in the building. I want to thank some of our day ones in the building. Thank y'all for tapping in. We appreciate y'all staying in the chat, staying active all episode long, giving us that great energy as always, cracking them good jokes. For some of y'all first time watchers out there tonight, again, we're on every Sunday, every Thursday. Come on back and bring a friend with you next time. Again, we talk about everything here. Everything, whether it's sports, social commentary, in the news, conspiracy theories. We talk about things to enlighten, and we give love here. We give love here. So again, thank y'all for continued growth in the show. Also, I want to thank some of the sponsors of the show: Bravo Section, Button Snaps, OUV Records. If you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, You can hit me on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild, or you can hit my bro on his Instagram at
Bravo section _.
So if you're interested to become a sponsor of the show, you can hit us up on Instagram. Also, make sure you tap into the Overstand podcast every Monday at 9:30 on this channel. While Understand, we go Overstand every Monday at 9:30. Again, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this show, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest movie, shows, and documentary for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's button-snaps.com. I'm working on some new music, and guess what, y'all? We got a release date for my new EP. It's called Winners Loyalty. Winners Loyalty. And that's coming out May 26th. May 26th. Going to be on all platforms. It's my new EP, again, called Winners Loyalty. So make sure y'all tap in. In the mean between time, just tap in Ashley Lovechild on any music platform that you listen to. I got some fire music, some fire albums. So make sure y'all tap in. I know my bro got his website.
Tap into BigBravoSection.com. Merch on the way.
Make sure y'all tap in. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Again, make sure before we go, tap into the membership portions in the page. Different memberships, different access. And we on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We at a little over 11,000 right now. So continue to like, subscribe, share, comment in those rewatches. We got a ton of rewatches. So also, again, don't be afraid to comment and continue to share. So we want to thank you as always. And y'all already know it's love. And we see y'all next time, 10:30. We out.